I believe we are ready to go in game. And as is tradition, I will give Pawn the reins to just do what it do and show us what Gilgamesh does really quick.
Okay, let's go.
It's a free item, yep.
Oh my goodness, this is so dope.
I'm getting super
Really
strong Ravana vibes.
Right, that's too good.
Even though the sound
The
effects.
dropkick
bounce
is
off
so
the wall,
satisfying.
the ult
Oh
gets
my
me every
goodness.
time.
That
He has
is
2 kicks,
great. Oh my goodness.
but are they combined
Well,
or
now that
not?
we've kind of given everybody just a quick glimpse at what Gilgamesh can do, they might notice that he's got a round shield just kind of flashing in his inventory. Let's talk about the passive Epic of Gilgamesh, Pawn. How did he get that round shield?
Yeah, so that's the Epic of Gilgamesh. You're going to actually adventure as Gilgamesh. You're going to have different things you have to do around the map. So the big thing here is at level 5, you'll get your first quest. These quests can be completed at any time throughout the game, but they have different requirements. The first quest is visit location on the map. So you can see when I spawned here, it was here. This is mostly just because we're in like testing and I'm level 20 and I'm switch classing all the time. But what it'll do is when you hit level 5, it'll pick a location on the enemy side of the map that is close to kind of where you were when you hit level 5. So if you're in solo lane, it's going to be kind of around the enemy speed buff or the enemy harpies. If you're in dual lane as a support, it's going to be more around like the purple area. But it's going to encourage you to go actually adventure into the enemy side of the base to find a location. If you successfully get there and walk over that beacon that was on the ground, you get a tier 1 item. So that's the reward for any of the quests. And at level 10, you get a second quest, which is to... The first one was to adventure. The second quest is to conquer. You have to defeat half the enemy team rounded up in a single team fight. So if a big team fight erupts and 3 of the enemy team members die, whether you got the kill or assist,
Good.
you will actually complete that quest and you'll get another reward for that, which is another random tier 1 item.
Whoa.
So you can definitely...
What?
If you're willing to risk and try and like create these situations
2?
where you can get the quest done, you can get quite a big reward for it.
That is so much RNG.
Definitely, this is super dope and something that we haven't done in Smite before. Pawn, talk to me. What if I have a full inventory whenever I complete a quest? What happens?
So the general rough value of a starter item is around 450 to 500 gold if you were just like sell it. So maybe you get an item and you're like, I'd rather finish my tier 3 than use this. You'd sell it for about 500. That's what we're going to give you if you have a full inventory. So that's the alternate reward if we can't put an item in your inventory.
Awesome. Sounds great. All my MMO fans out there should get this really easy. Get the quest, complete the quest, get the loot, for sure. Gilgamesh getting some immediate value.
I don't think you need to play
9 and
MMOs
10,
to understand that.
from these quests that are involved with this passive. And kind of the lore of Gilgamesh is he's got all these artifacts, so the passive definitely plays off of that. He's collecting the artifacts across the battleground, but he's also got his Sunforged scimitar as one of the artifacts that he's bringing along with him, his iconic weapon. Talk to me about ability 1.
Yeah, so Gilgamesh, when he adventures, he finds all these artifacts throughout the story. And so this is an artifact that we've kind of imagined from the weaponry of the time, where he has this weapon that's forged in the sun. And as such, it ignites with the heat of the sun. So you can see here, you have these smoldering embers on the sword towards the bottom.
Oh,
When you
they should be
activate your
gone.
one, they're going to ignite and erupt into fire. And you can see his whole weapon is now basically this giant torch. Enemies who are caught in this ignition take damage and are slowed. And Gilgamesh now deals damage to targets, some extra bonus damage for hitting targets, equal to his maximum health. So right now I believe it's equal to about 3
Animosity?
maximum health. So the
Animosity?
more health you build, the more effective this actually becomes. And you can see here that as I keep attacking this Odin,
Animosity?
the buff is still on me. It's staying on me. It actually extends in duration the more successful you are. So if you activate this and can keep attacking your target, you get to keep this buff for up to 12 seconds. So you can actually have this pretty much indefinitely, and you can chain it into the one going off cooldown and like activating again and getting it all refreshed.
That's sick. And I know since we're talking about basic attacks, I'm not sure if Pawn or AJ, I believe we've got some new tech that we added in for these basic attacks to help out.
Yeah, so you can
We
see
do
as
have a little bit.
I'm moving around. Yeah.
Go ahead,
So
Paul.
the basic attacks, a lot of our basic attacks have these like kind of forward animations, but to make sure that the characters can move in 8 directions and run, we sometimes have to do these 8-way splits essentially. And we lose a lot of that forward momentum but the art team did a really good job here where they've done new tech here to keep some of that forward animation as you're doing these 8-way movements. So you'll notice this as you're playing. These attacks
Oh.
feel super smooth.
He just
and
leans
super
forward.
responsive. And that's due to the art being able to convey that forward momentum while still allowing full 8-way control. And it's just really fun to play with.
There's
Interesting.
a lot of back-end tech art, very complex changes, and it's a subtle impact that you might feel, or if you're someone who's really interested in animations, you might notice it more than others. But
I think Willish has
we're
something
really
similar
happy
because
with
she
how it's
stabs
improved our
forward
Gods,
when she attacks.
animations, and we're going to be using it on future gods. So we're just really proud of our team for that. Even if maybe the lesser eye wouldn't spot it.
The lesser eye.
Yeah, but,
The
yeah,
inferior
it
eye.
definitely looks satisfying, but I have a feeling that Gilgamesh has an ability that's going to feel even more satisfying to land. Let's talk about Dropkick.
Yeah, Dropkick. This is the one that everyone has like played Gilgamesh and been like, nope, that was just cool. What I did there was just very cool. So Dropkick is what you'd expect. It's a dropkick. You dropkick an area in front of you, and you send them flying. If they collide with a god or a wall, they'll stun. So you can see here. Oh, let me send cooldown back on.
This is gonna go so wrong. It's gonna go so Enter and Pay level wrong.
They both get stunned. For the
So many
duration,
people
you can
mess it
try and
up.
Actually, use this to hit multiple targets.
Oh,
and
that
stun
is
multiple targets.
sick.
Or you can just send them flying back to your team. You can send them into a wall to follow up with your one.
I mean, I guess it's easier because you can get close to the enemy and get behind them and kick them to your team.
That if I just don't hold W, it has built-in forward momentum. So not only does this just make the weight of the ability feel really high, but like it lets you follow up. So here, I actually am in better position now to follow up off that stun than I would be otherwise. So it just helps.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, I definitely when you were showing us the kit earlier, this Dropkick was definitely my favorite, and I love how we've just incorporated it into everything that we're doing. The trailer has a sick Dropkick. I am so ready to hit people with it on the battleground. But let's move along to Hero's Advance, which is his 3 and going to be a movement ability for Gilgamesh.
It's just Ravana old.
So Hero's Advance is the main movement ability for Gilgamesh. He targets a ground location, and you can see it's quite a big area. It actually hits this whole area as well. But when you land, you have this field that gets created.
I swear it's literally as
Ravana
Ravana old.
Outside of it, they'll see this as like a beacon of light. And as they
Like
run
with a buff
towards it, so you can see
and
if I
bigger
run
area.
here and start running towards it, I'll get some movement speed for running towards it. So this is your way as the warrior to jump into the middle of the enemy team and be like, hey teammates, we're fighting here right now. Everyone gets a boost of movement speed to get there, and then while they're inside of it, they get some of that movement speed, but they also get lifesteal equal to 10% plus a certain percentage of Gilgamesh's highest protection. So you can see a theme here. He wants to build health, he wants to build protection, he wants to be the frontline bruiser that's very hard to take down. And for doing so, you get to provide some extra damage with your one, as well as some extra lifesteal to your teammates with the aura from the theme.
Alright, that is Hero's Advance. Let's go ahead and talk about the ultimate ability for Gilgamesh, Winds of Shamash.
So Shamash is someone who actually helps Gilgamesh in one of his main battles with Humbaba, a demon. He calls upon Shamash to bind the demon with his winds, and so he's calling down the winds again here. It's a range deployable circle that creates essentially a ring of wind. Targets who are inside of it take initial damage and are slowed. They take some wind damage over time, and then you can see at the end there, if they're still in it, the winds kind of turn into these threads that end up binding them, rooting and crippling them if they stayed inside of it, causing them to take extra damage. But that's not quite all.
It's a lot of damage.
So let's see if I can get this with Bot's Orbit.
He doesn't have a power build, it's just base damage, I
they
think.
don't want to behave. Unfortunate. This might be easier, actually, if I just spawn We're going to go over to the other lane, and I'm going to spawn an enemy Gilgamesh. Also, his voice pack is great.
Yeah, I know.
I like how we took these.
They're getting so many Raven vibes, even from the voice pack.
Kick and the way we did the kind of King of the Ring ultimate, and we even brought that into some of his animation. He has sort of a professional wrestler vibe you'll get from a few of his animations. That
I want to see the
helps with his
stats of the.
kind of confidence and bravado as a king.
I already have them here.
But then he's
the
also
leap.
he's very driven and very intentional and wise at the same time, which is just
Yeah,
I think
that's-
worked out really well.
But here you can see this wind wall. The outer walls actually slow you incredibly heavily. This is a 70%
Oh, wow.
slow at maximum rank. And if Gilgamesh attacks you while you're inside that area, So it's basically kind of like a ring, but it's a soft ring. It doesn't actually fully lock your movement. If Gilgamesh attacks you while you're inside that ring, the slow area of it, the ring will actually knock you back towards the center.
Oh.
And you can obviously combine this with your Dropkick to send them back at you. So you get to bounce
This
them
is
off the
really
ring.
strong.
So
A really
Gilgamesh's
strong
main
single
primary is
target
to cast
escape
this on a
denial, I
team,
suppose.
And then use his attacks and damaging abilities to keep them inside that ring for as long as he can to make sure that they get bound by the winds of Shamash.
Definitely. I'm loving the vibes here. Like AJ was saying, the professional wrestler, like leaning towards those themes a little bit. Gilgamesh being, you know, astute but aggressive. He's just all about the business. He is here to fight you, you know, really straightforward. Talk to me a little bit about, you know, what we've been seeing in playtest in terms of playstyle and where Gilgamesh is, you know, kind of landing in Conquest.
Yeah, so when it comes to playing him in Conquest, we've been playing him we've tried support, we've tried solo, and we've tried jungle. Early on, his damage was very high, so he was doing really well in the jungle, but as we've tuned balance for him, he's really found his home in the solo lane. He's very effective at boxing out opponents in lane, really fighting for lane control, and just kind of trying to pressure out opponents with the drop kick, trying to send them back into the tower or send them away from the wave. The one, because of the way the cooldown works, where when you activate it, it goes on cooldown immediately. So as you're using the stim, you can be getting the cooldown available for it again to use it. Makes you a very effective boxer if they try and actually trade with you. So I would expect to see him mostly in the solo lane, maybe a little bit of flex into the jungle role. But his support also has high potential because doing this in lane is pretty devastating.
Oh my goodness, yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah, they ult has CT as well. Like, it's not even bad in that range.
Lots of different things to play with here.
It's kind of
We
weird
love
though
the
if you
basic
play him
attack
support
focus
and the
from
one
him.
is
We
just
have,
kind of
you know, that's
useless.
something that a warrior hasn't brought new to the game in a little while. It does give him some flex potential as well. Potentially he could be played in the jungle, but I think he does really well in the solo lane. If you use that leap, which has a really big hit area, you can poke your enemy god and then group up the minions really well with a 3-1 combo to just clear the lane really effectively, and then you're getting a lot of swings in, so you always have a lot of uptime on that scimitar. So he plays great in both roles, honestly. And he's just a very fun god who does, like, you know, who just gets up in the mix. Really, that's, you know, what warriors are really designed to do, and Gilgamesh does that very well.
Nice. Well, he will definitely be jumping in head first in 8-4 to challenge Tiamat during the Rising Storm update on Conquest. Well, that just about does it for the kit, but of course we want to show off, you know, all the recolors and take a listen to the voice pack for Gilgamesh that we've got going on.
Very interesting
I believe
character.
the first recolor that we want to show off is the standard recolor for Gilgamesh, and it is going to be Crimson King, and I love the card art.
Simple kit, but
super dope.
I think very strong.
AJ?
I love it, of course, you know.
Very good CC.
We had a lot of really cool colors for Gilgamesh. We had like a lot of blues and purples, and then here we have kind of this like red magenta kind of color, which just, it feels very royal, and it fits the king well.
Definitely. I believe we're going to be able to have a turnaround here for this recolor as well. But I got word from production that we do have the Crimson King turnaround ready to show off, so we'll be able to see that super cool model here for the standard recolor. There we go. This is Crimson King Gilgamesh. Let's go ahead and take a listen to the voice pack before we start talking about the other recolors and the mastery skins.
A fresh land ready for a strong adventurer. I wonder what I shall find here.
That's dope. And Pon, you hit the nail right on the head. That voice pack is sick. I love the tie into the passive and, you know, him adventuring around and finding these artifacts and relics and gaining some new items. The next recolor that we have that we want to talk about is actually the Season Pass 2021 recolor. We've got Ascended Gilgamesh going to be coming up here. So if you've picked up that Season Pass 2021, you'll be able to unlock this limited recolor as soon as Gilgamesh goes live on April 20th.
I didn't even realize his hair is like his beard.
Background. He's got a nice slash that he's hit here as well. And this is the turnaround. This is the more purple vibe, right, AJ?
This looks like a Guan Yu skin
that we already
have.
Historically, the color of royalty in lots of other cultures, so made a good sense as a recolor for him. But you know, I think his default is the most historical. But then we explored a few others on the recolors, and then his card art for the mastery, I'm really big fan of. Because
Yeah,
obviously
I
the
know.
color
Yeah.
choice for mastery. We don't have a lot of flexibility on the color choice for mastery, but we did get a little creative with the card art, which I really love.
Definitely. He's definitely
Yeah, that's
flexing
my
on
favorite
him.
card art.
I know,
Nice.
right?
I'm
Let's
glad.
go ahead and take a look at the card art for the mastery skin.
All
Watch the
right.
throne,
Oh my
everybody.
gosh.
That is.
He is
He's the
just here
king.
chilling. That is sick.
Look, he looks like he
So
wants to
good.
get out and adventure so bad. He's like, why did I have to come to this meeting?
I know,
that's
right?
What too many
Story
Zoom
of my
calls will
life.
do to you.
Zoom calls, Google Hangouts. I definitely feel you, Gilgamesh.
There's
This-
somebody
awkward
wrote
silence.
He's like, hey, maybe we shouldn't go fight Humbaba, and Gilgamesh is like, no, I want to fight. He's gonna go.
Right? Yeah.
He doesn't have much patience early on.
So this is the golden, and then the legendary, the black and gold, my favorite. I gotta say it every update show. This one looks sick, and I believe we'll
One of
have the
my favorites,
diamond
too.
here in just a second to look at. I'm loving it. Oh, I love the treatment on the weapon there for the diamond skin as well. All right, guys. Well, that is Gilgamesh. That is
I really
the
like the
king
diamond
of
there.
Uruk. Any
Yep.
final words on Gilgamesh before we close out the show?
I mean, it was super fun to work on this character. It's such a historical figure, being able to like explore what he could do in Smite, making this kind of like lean, straightforward warrior kit was like super satisfying. And so I can't wait for you guys to play him on the PTS, which hopefully will be at some point soon.
Yes.
Friday.
PTS on Friday.
BTS on
Friday,
Friday. And
Friday,
New Conquest
Friday.
on Friday.
New
Conquest
Conquest
on
on
Friday. No, I'm
Friday,
really
too.
excited
Lots
for
of
the
exciting
Conquest.
stuff.
What?
Yeah, I'm really excited
That's
for
early.
the Conquest updates. You know, we did a new map, and we were like, what's a new thing we can do on top of a new map? And like, what if that new map kept feeling new
Oh, they mean
the whole year?
on the PTS
And,
or
you know,
what?
we just did a
I'm not even
brand new
sure.
map,
I'm
so
confused.
I mean, I don't
I
want
kind of have to talk over them
myself,
because
but
they're
I think
playing
this is
copyright
probably
music, I
the
think, so that's a bit
smaller
unfortunate.
of the changes, the ones we have planned
Okay.
for the rest of this year, I think are bigger each time, and have, you know, bigger gameplay impacts and more art changes and stuff like that. So I don't know. This one is pretty cool, but this one is just getting started. You know, this one is just
I know.
some pathing, some routing, some movement stuff. But we've got new objective ideas, we've got new mechanic ideas, we've got other artistic ideas. You know, we've got some really cool stuff that we're working on. But that's just, you know, that's gonna be the whole year is gonna be like that. Just get
Most
ready for more
definitely.
cool stuff one after another all year long.
I know. Lots of exciting stuff coming in Smite Season 8. Keep playing and keep joining us on these update shows as we break it all down for you. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. PTS on Friday. We'll see everybody on the next one.
All right. Oof, just kind of out from me. With that, thank you guys very much for watching. We're going to have the patch notes review tomorrow. Again, I'm going to split this up into two. And yeah, we'll have the full patch notes live. If you're not on the patch notes live right now, they'll be up in a bit. Thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel, feel free to sub button, maybe the bell. And other than that, I hope to see you for the next one soon. ZiSotto, out.